Ooh, what's going on, YouTube? Back playing with my Lincoln again. Here's what I did. I pulled the front bumper off and all that shit. I probably didn't have to take the grill out and this whole panel here, but it was only like 4 bolts and it made getting the bumper off easier. I did the bumpers before the rack because my plan was to come in here, take the bumper off, come in here with the Sawzall and cut between the trunk and the frame, cut the post that way. Well, as it turns out, you can't get the bumper off with the rack still in there because you can't peel the shit back behind it to get to the bolts. So I ended up just cutting the rack off inside. And my original plan wouldn't have worked anyway because it's still got all this shit here with the bumper cover off. Still got a bunch of shit there. I guess that's why they call it a bumper cover. It covers shit. So there's what's left of the racks there. And cutting it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be with my Sawzall. I went out and I bought some good Linux blades. And I just went about medium speed. I didn't go too quick. And for cutting oil, I just took my turkey baster and used a little bit of the hydraulic oil I drained out of the lines when I pulled the pumps. And it wasn't bad at all. I was really impressed by how quickly it cut. I thought I was going to be back here for a couple hours, and it wasn't bad. But I could see what's wrong there. That's why that side was leaning out. The frame broke away where it was welded, most likely from fatigue. From the way the racks were set up, it was kind of cantilevered out. And just over time, the bouncing and it probably just, that's why it broke off. But that's another case in point of why I'm putting a stronger frame in here. It's not that these cars have weak frames, it's just that they're not designed to carry all this weight in the trunk and bounce up and down and all that shit. What else? Okay, so I think I'm almost done under here. I got the heater hoses off. I got the evap lines that go to the motor off. We got the only thing I got left on this side is the cables that go down to the starter, the big positive, negative. I got the one off the alternator. I got the throttle cable off, cruise off, hoses off, radiator drained, vacuum line off the booster. What I'm avoiding is this ABS unit because I don't want to make a mess. And I haven't really looked to see if that attaches to the frame or the body. If it attaches to the frame, that'll be super. I could just unbolt the master and keep it all together. Get my turkey baster back under here and get the fluid out of that, the power steering fluid and brake fluid, and drain all that. It's really not that bad so far. Heater hoses kind of sucked, but the right tool for the job, I guess. Made it a lot easier. Alright, back under the car. Why aren't you focusing? There you go. Back under the car. I still got to do something with these front suspension. I think I'll probably just pull out the spring, put a block of wood in there or something. Just something to hold it up. And I seen this. I was poking around under here looking at the gas tank. It looks like there's the lines, but it looks like the straps go to the body, if you can see up in there, not to the frame rail. There's one of the bolts. So that makes it a lot easier. I don't got to drop the tank. I just got to pull the fuel lines off. And these parking brake cables. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm thinking about just cutting them, because all the travel this thing's going to have in the rear when I'm done, they're not going to work anyway. But this is the problem with the lifting pads. Again, you really can't get under there because it just kind of grabs the car. So I got to lower it down, put some blocks of wood in between the frame and the ramp to see what's going on. If I can disconnect them easily, I'll just disconnect them. And maybe somebody that's more familiar with these big Fords can tell me if this is factory or not. This evap bullshit back here, I don't know the technical name. The line goes over and goes up into the frame rail. And then it goes somewhere. I don't know where the hell it goes. Maybe you could tell me. But that gave me an idea. Maybe these are my hydraulic hoses right here. And they run up and over, and not the cleanest thing, not the most protected thing. So that gave me an idea. I wonder if I could run my hydraulic hoses to the front through the frame rail. If somebody knows, tell me if it's a clear shot inside the frame, or it's, you know, there's plates in there dividing it in sections so I won't be able to get through. I don't know. If somebody knows, tell me. If nobody does, I guess I'll learn it the hard way and just try to jam shit in there and see what it does. Alright, peace.